Hello and greetings, the audience. It is us again, at least me again, and today I am a very esteemed company. So today I brought Ryan.
Hello.
Hello. Are the tech goblins all slain?
I think so. I think, yep, your audio levels are good.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Then uh, I can say, hi, it's awesome to be here. We are gonna have our fifth episode and final episode of Origin Stories because we have told almost a story for we have told a story for almost all lineages. Um, so there's only one left, and I am pretty sure nobody has an idea what lineage this could be. Oh no. Um, Luckily, I am not alone here to tell you about them. I have Ryan with me, and yeah, how you doing, Ryan?
I'm okay. I'm going to apologize to you and our delightful viewers in advance if I yawn a lot. I'm not actually tired, but I'm on sertraline for some anxiety stuff, and it keeps giving me like random waves of drowsiness. So I'm not bored. It's just side effects of my medication.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Um, Before we get into tonight's episode, I can tell you about upcoming stuff. And as far as I'm aware, um, there is one important event coming up, and that's Onyx Path Game Night on the last Friday of this very month, as every month. And there are already a few very nice games out there that you can go to on startplaying.games. And I am pretty sure I will post my games there too because the process is done. I can finally submit the game. Um, yeah. Uh, Aside of that, I think there's nothing else to tell you about unless you go over to the Monday meeting notes on theonyxpath.com and prove me wrong. It seems like a good place to do that. Um, okay. I think this was a very quick rundown of what I have to tell you tonight, and I'm very happy with that. Okay. Maybe, Ryan, you want to tell us a little bit about who you are for those who have never seen you before, um, for the very rare and few who might be there.
Yeah. I'm Ryan or Comrade Bubbles in chat. I am a freelance writer with Onyx Path Publishing and a couple of other companies, but this is Onyx Path channel, so it's pertinent. I do stream here usually. I've had to take a hiatus for mental health reasons, but I do stream here every alternate Tuesdays, where I run through how to write community content for Onyx Path games with mechanical deep dives and things of that nature. If you're watching this in the United Kingdom and you are a tabletop creative, I also run UK Tabletop Industry Network, which is a support network for tabletop creatives in the UK. So if you swing by uktin.substack.com, you can sign up for our newsletter. I believe it's also linked to my link tree. That's not how I spell my name. It's also my link tree on my Linktree page, as well as like my portfolio and things of that nature. If you do want to follow my homebrew, like Storypath Nexus and Solution Vault content, things of that nature.
Thank you. That's quite a long list of things you're doing.
I do a lot, and I feel it every day.
So I'm very glad I could drag you in front of a camera tonight.
Yeah, you should be. I don't do it for just anyone.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm Tom. I'm a professional storyteller, just as Ryan is. I run games on Start Playing Games from time to time. I'm also annoying people on this very stream from time to time. And aside of that, since of recently, I am also a freelance writer with Onyx Path. Woo! So that's awesome. And I do translation stuff for RPGs, like Cyberpunk Red, for example. And I've got a new juicy project on my table about which I can't talk, but it's amazing. Um, okay, I think that's enough of all of that, and we are ready to dive into the world of Curseborne. Oh, thank you, Nico. Uh, um, okay. Um, storyteller mode. Let me enter it. Um, welcome to the world of Curseborne, especially Miston City. Miston City is a place somewhere on the North American East Coast, but it's hard to pin it down. Um, it is such an unspectacular place that it appears on the map, but you have to really focus to find it. And if you want to get there, you really have to want to get there. You have to make the decision and keep it in your head to even arrive in Miston. Otherwise, you might just verge off the path, take another highway, end up someplace else, maybe in some interesting places, like, I don't know, New York, for example. Um, and to be honest, many families in Miston aren't too angry about being ignored, living their life in a bubble in peace, as it seems. But even within such a big, secluded place, um, strange things are going on. This is a city where the shadows are especially long and deep, where you can hear the sound of the waves lingering just a millisecond longer as they were supposed to be heard. And it is a place where you can taste that street on your tongue, the kerosene, the smoke from the cars, the old food from the hot dog places. You can smell and taste the mood of the people. And tonight, unlike the other times that we have visited the city, we are actually in the one and only reasonable direction on the road, ahead and out of Miston. We close in on a car. It's probably not too big, and it has a driver and a person sitting next to them on the second seat. There are a few bags in the trunk. And as I said, they are trying to leave the city at this point. And the person behind the steering wheel is a certain Tobias. Tobias, who are you?
Yeah, I'm Tobias Beck, kind of thrown on the back of the thrown in the back seat of the car is a clearly some kind of like uniform, blazer or jacket with my name tag on, and it's the like name tag itself is aside from "Hello, my name is," it's also printed with Kernahan's Fine Books, um, which is where I work. I'm a book dealer. Well, I work for a book dealer on the shop floor. Kind of like sandy blonde hair, um, nondescript brown eyes. If you gave me a second glance, and not many people do, it would be fairly apparent that I put a lot of time and effort into being unremarkable.
And the person next to you is Henry. Henry is staring out of the side window, glancing from time to time into the back mirror and side mirrors to get a good look onto the street behind you. Not turning around. This would maybe make the tension, the car, um, it would increase this tension, and that's something he doesn't want right now. Um, Henry is your new boyfriend. How long have you been together?
We've been dating for about 2 weeks. We met in the climbing center that my last boyfriend used to work at.
Oh, was it drama?
Uh, no, when the breakup happened, it was all very amicable. He was simply moving on to bigger and better things outside of Miston, and I still had a job to do.
I see. Henry Henry seems to be worried and fits well the mood in the car right now. You are right now heading towards a safe location because during your last business trip, something was off. Something went wrong. And for that reason, we're going to take a step back in time to last night. You have a side hustle, and this side hustle required for you to get entry to a rather large mansion. High walls surrounding the premise, a nice park with well cut bushes and a few trimmed trees. Um, you're pretty sure there are dogs supposed to be around, but maybe you catch the moment where they have been taken for a walk. Maybe you're the person who does think about things like this. So you are right now already beyond the wall. And I need to know, how did you manage to get there? How did you get entry?
So in a uh, careful fashion, I did reconnoiter like, the night before. Well, I reconnoitered a couple of nights just to keep an eye out for dogs, guards, security systems, and make sure that everything is roughly the same night to night. And during one of those scouting periods, I noticed that the uh, perimeter wall, there's a tree next to it, and there is a branch that just sticks out over it far enough to attach a rope.
Perfect. The sky is cloudy, as it often is in Miston. And so there is not much moon or starlight right now, which helps to keep the park nice and dark. There's just here and there a beam of light coming from one of the windows which are lit. But altogether, your way through the park is Going well. You know, the place you need to go is on the second floor. How do you proceed?
Um, how climbable does the facade of the house look?
I think it has clear, clean walls for the most part, but around the windows, you have like stonework with. I need my dictionary again.
I'm sorry.
um, with are they called joints? I don't think they're called joints. The tiny spaces between bricks.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Those thingies where you can grip into. Um, yeah, they are around. So
In which case, that's probably my point of and it, like because I've done this hustle a while. Ground floor windows usually closed. People are less particular about keeping above ground floor windows closed. So I'll loop the house to see if there are any open windows that I can get into, and then um, carefully, quietly swap out my shoes for climbing shoes and um, chalk up some very thin gloves and try to climb the outside of the house to an open window if there is in fact is one. If not, it's plan B. But we'll see if there is one first.
I think you find one. Um, it's not obvious. It's just a small slit that it's still open. You could have missed it easily, but observant eyes help a lot. And yeah, you find a window on the second floor.
In which case, as I say, yeah, I'll swap out the like quiet trainers for the rubber sole climbing shoes, chalk up some thin leather gloves to give a bit of extra grip on the wall and attempt to scale it.
Works fine. You reach the window and you notice the tiny red spot from a LED. So it seems like there is an alarm system and it's armed.
Looking at the window frame itself, does the alarm system appear to connect to the window frame, or is it just a motion sensor in the room?
Looks like it's connected to the window frame.
Okay. In that case, because I'm trying to picture it because we have one on our front door. Um, so I'm trying to think how, I'm trying to apply real world knowledge to the problem. Um, uh, if it's like ours, a thin blade should be able to like carefully, obviously, I should be able
Mhm.
to at least lever it off the thing attaching it to the window frame. Um, oh, important question: is the ledge, like the windowsill, window ledge, call it what you will, wide enough for me to comfortably kind of stand, crouch, kneel on?
I think you can hold yourself there
Okay.
without the danger of falling.
In that case, I'd like to, with like one thin blade of some kind, I guess, lever the back panel off where the actual mechanism is, and then with another one, kind of just hold it in place as I slowly lift the window up so that I don't knock
Mhm.
it so it falls into the room.
With some calm breathing, the right tool, and knowledge applied, you make your way into the room. It is dark. and it looks like an office. A very heavy desk dominates the room, and the space around it, as well as the high chair behind it, makes the shadows even darker and deeper. There are a few portraits of old men in expensive clothing on the walls, and a few shelves containing series of books, leather bound or in red velvet, all without any titles, just numbers on them. Maybe done to impress and then don't give a fuck about who they are portraying there, or it is actually used materials and the people just know what they are looking at instead of needing to read the titles. Could be either way. You know that the place that you want to go into is basically a secured safe room with an entire um, mach- um machinery for artificial climate, um, to keep the content well kept. And it's probably locked um, by another heavy security lock. And aside of one door, probably leading out to the corridor, you see another. It's a steel framed door. Um, it has some uh, leather cushions onto it, so it does look give a noble impression. But you can see the lock mechanism that says a lot about its real um, reason to be there, not to look nice, but to keep something very safe.
Um, Looking back in the study for a moment,
Mhm.
uh, is there anything on the desk that could conceivably be a computer, a tablet, some kind of smart device attached to the house's network?
Mm, on the desk itself, there is one folder. Um, you can't make out the color, but it seems to be a dark one. Um, a neat, clean stack of white paper and an inkwell and a pen. Um, you don't immediately see any tablet or computer, but if you circle around, there is it's not a drawer, but a single compartment open, and there you can see a tablet waiting just beneath the tabletop.
Okay. Still, gloved up, although carefully removing the chalk from the gloves as best I can. I would like to take it, turn it on, and see if it is in any way connected to the house security system.
Um, as you pull it up and activate it, you see the lock screen, and it shows the picture of one of the very few tall buildings in the city. It's oh god, um, I had the fucking word here. Um, it's a skyscraper. Other cities would set this into their skyline and it wouldn't even change a thing. In Miston, it's a big, big thing. And it is a rather controversial one because it was basically the downfall of the former mayor, Harrows. It is said that it was her prestige project and it failed financially in so many ways, and her entire mayorship fell apart beneath the weight of this project. And basically, one of the steps during construction is has been photographed, and this is on the lock screen of this tablet. Um, it does seem be connected to the Wi-Fi.
In that case, I would uh, see if I can get any kind of remote control over the um, house security system, either through it being just installed on the tablet, or if there is an unlocked email inbox, I'd absolutely go looking for that to see if I could find any link to an online portal for the security system, or at least the provider, and then go from there with seeing what I can do with the knowledge and skills that I've acquired over the last decade or so.
Would you deem yourself to be well adapted to this kind of task?
I believe, I mean, technology too. I've had some practice.
Then we could test it, couldn't
Maybe we
we?
could.
Let's roll technology. And do you want to do this quick, or are you going to take some time? And
I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. I know that I'm on a clock here, and it's in and out as fast as possible.
then I think it's cunning.
Fantastic. Thank you. 3 hits.
Oh, yeah, I think that is enough to get access to the system and get a good sweep around. I think um, it is a rather well protected network, so I think the security, the difficulty would be one, but you still have one hit left. And I'd say you get a good idea where in this buildings the security cameras are. You get a good idea what alarm systems are in place. And of course, you find um, the safe and its lock in there.
If I am able to, I would just try to think how best to handle this situation. Obviously, I want to unlock the stuff if I can through the security system, but there's the question of digital evidence. Um, and being as far away as possible when this is discovered. Um, so if I were able to, I would, because I'm assuming there's CCTV security as well in the house.
Yes.
Um, if the cameras allow it, I'd just pan them away so they're facing the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
If they do not allow it, I guess I just have to turn them off and hurry.
I think you can turn them away.
Okay,
That
so I'll
works
I'll
fine.
I'll, I'll give myself a clear route to the safe without being seen on camera, uh, as well as presumably in the safe room itself there'll be cameras, and unlock
Um,
everything.
The most interesting thing about the safe is, as I said, it has acclimation, and there are sensors in there that will register changes in air pressure, in air moisture, and temperature. And so it will be hard to delete any evidence about entering the safe.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Um, so I'm assuming that the climate control is the entire room, not just kind of
Yes.
cool. Um, I have prepared as best I can with like a insulated jacket and face mask to try and stop, just the moisture in my breath triggering it for as long as possible. But it's a trade off, of course, between speed and getting in and carrying everything I could possibly need to not trigger any of the alarms. So I've opted for lightweight. Um, so it's the hope is that as I make my way down the corridor and pull up the mask and whatnot, that I'll have enough time to get in, grab it, and leave without leaving too much evidence behind or triggering the alarm before I'm finished, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You arrive at the door to the safe. As you hear a voice downstairs. Apparently, somebody is on the phone there in one of the rooms on the ground floor. Doesn't sound as if they were moving, but there's definitely somebody else in the house.
I will pause and kind of try to figure out roughly where they are in relation to me, and as I then continue, on towards the safe room, just keep an ear out for the sounds of them getting closer or the conversation stopping.
Mhm. Perfect. Right now, that seems fine. It's just something that's on the back of your mind right now. And you arrive at the door to the safe. Um, it has a number combination lock, and you know it is connected to the um, network, Wi-Fi network in the building.
In which case, I would like to see if I can open it via the network before I have to resort to other means.
Yeah. Let's do the same roll again.
Oh dear. 0 hits.
Hmm.
Unless you're going to give me target number 7, which I doubt.
I don't think that's a thing in Curseborne. Well, okay. It takes a while. And as you look up from the tablet again, you notice that all lights in the building are extinguished. Right now, the gleaming tablet screen is the only source of light. And the door to the safe opens.
Uh, First instinct, obviously, when confronted with this situation, is use the tablet as a light source to look around. I'm just going to make a roll for myself, if I may. Uh, To see if the second instinct works. It does not, because I failed that roll completely as well. So I'm very much deer in the headlights right now. This is a situation that has not occurred before, and it's taking me a moment to decide on the best course of action.
The door is open. You maybe need 20 seconds more to get in there, identify the object, and then get out.
I glance down at the tablet to check there's no overt signs of an alarm having been triggered. Uh,
Doesn't seem like it.
Keep an ear out for anyone approaching, and sorry, wind. Allow hubris to overtake me as I dash in for the book.
You enter a library or maybe a book exhibition. You have several book stands covered with glass or plexiglass. You have um, showcases on the walls. There are shelves, but they're more there for portraying the books. Unlike the books in the study, these books here are all in the perfect climate for them, and they are here to be presented, to be watched. And I don't know if that's important for you or not, but there's also a reading stand. So apparently these books can also be read. And the room itself is windowless. Um, you already have turned away the camera that was supposed to watch the room, and you see the book. What does the book look like?
This one is perhaps not as old as some of the acquisitions I've made over the past decade or so, but it still is clearly an old book. It's got like cracked black leather cover. The uh, care and attention that's gone to the rest of the room probably has resulted in the leather being quite well oiled still, and the silver bindings, clasps, and corners being polished, so there's no sign of tarnishing. Um, the book itself is unlabeled with with title or author, um, like many of the prizes of my collection, because I collect as well as sell. Um, you don't need the title because if you know what the book looks like, you know what's in the book.
And it's awaiting. It's actually on the reading stand. It's not covered by any protective layer of glass or plexiglass. It's sitting there just waiting to be grabbed.
I take a moment for a steadying breath. The unfamiliar situation is still unnerving me, but having come this far with it right there, it would seem foolish to turn back now. So with one last look around to see if there is any obvious sign of why I shouldn't succumb to the voice in the back of my head telling me to grab it and leave. Um, and if there isn't any sign, I will indeed grab it and leave. I have a small padded like messenger bag that I brought for such a purpose.
As your fingers touch the um, the metal edges, the silver, it is as if you hear a, a fine bell ringing somewhere, It's an eerie sound. It's not something that an alarm would make or anything like this. It's just like maybe a sound from childhood memories. It the book itself weighs heavy, and you feel that as soon as you touch it, breathing becomes a little bit harder. The messenger back swallows the book. You now feel the weight on your shoulder, and you turn around. There's still the darkness of the house in front of you. The voice from the ground floor doesn't speak on the phone anymore. You can't hear them. It's utterly quiet in the building.
With so bearing in mind that the book was out, um, I I come to the conclusion that there's no way that this theft is going to go unnoticed for long. So I throw out the original plan of covering my tracks as best as I can, um, and the adrenaline flooding my body right now, the nerves that are taut as bowstrings just are screaming, "You've got it! Get out!" And ordinarily, I would ignore them. I'd push them aside. I'd focus myself, and I'd reset everything I had done. But in this instance, I do just turn. I don't run, but I move quietly, but quickly, back to the study in the open window.
You do your best, but you can hear your own footsteps. You can hear them. There is a thought that hammers into the rest of the brain. I can hear my footsteps. Somebody else can hear my footsteps. And aren't these another pair? Can't we hear another pair of feet coming up the stairs? Maybe there's already somebody waiting in this dark corner over there. We have no idea who else is in this building right now. There shouldn't be anybody here, yet there was. No, we don't know where they are. We still have the tablet, and it's burning like a beacon.
How um, the weather outside? Is it cloudy? Is the moon bright?
It's
Is
cloudy.
cool.
It's cloudy.
In
Uh,
which case, as I look at the temporarily forgotten tablet in my hands, the screen glowing, I will turn it around to illuminate the hallway so I can see where the door I'm heading for is.
mhm.
Uh, and then when I see where I'm heading, turn the screen off and just hope that I can find it in the dark by just a slight change in the light quality because there should still be some light coming from outside.
Yeah. The corridor ahead is empty. You see the door on the left side, 3 doors ahead, through which you came in. To the right, there is the stairs that are leading down from which you heard the voice. You move quickly. The light turns off. There's this brief moment of darkness that happens between there's light and then your eyes adjust to the bare minimum that comes through the open door ahead. And just as you begin to see again, you think there's somebody just in front of you.
I would stop still, dead still. Word deliberately chosen. Um, and with all of my strength, throw the tablet, hopefully over or around the person who may or may not be in front of me, but um, as far as I can in front of me.
You throw. It passes the space where this person might be. It doesn't connect. It continues to fly. And then it crashes with an audible crack onto the wall. There's nobody ahead of you. But now there was a sound.
I will wait, trying desperately to calm the hammering heartbeat in my head, to hear, trying to hear over it if there is anyone on the stairs. If there isn't, after what would be 5 normal heartbeats, I'll continue on for the open study and the window safety beyond.
As long as you stand still, you only can hear your heartbeat. As soon as you start moving, you can hear the boards of the stairs creaking beneath heavy steps.
I continue as I am, going as quietly as I can. If anything, I get slower in my effort to be as quiet as I can. Um, the At this point, I can't hear my footsteps because my heartbeat is too loud in my ears.
You have reached the door. You're looking into the study as you feel the stare in your neck.
Take a moment to try to slow the heart racing, and then just run for the open window.
You reach the window. Your mind is lagging behind. You already feel the wood of the window sill beneath your fingers. Then you feel the rush of air as you move outside, as your mind starts to get on pace with you again, and gives you an image that you haven't seen. There was somebody sitting in this high chair behind the desk. It was doing something that your inner resistance doesn't allow you to see. You are in the fresh air now. Before, in front of you, and below you is the ground.
I will make my way as safely down as I can. This whole endeavor is for nothing if I break my leg. Um, but there's still that need to run, to flee, to escape.
And so you flee. You get down the wall. You you feel how your hands within the gloves are getting more sweaty. Also, the bricks, they uh, seem to offer less grip. They seem to be more breakable beneath your finger and feet. Um, Yet you get down, you run across the lawn, you get to the wall. It is dark out here. Whatever light you saw coming into the house through the study window, it's gone. Everything is just shadows.
Will blindly feel for the rope that is still attached to the tree um, that I left behind me so I could get out quickly. Do I find it in the dark?
It takes you a moment. You find a bush which seems more thorny than you remember it. You think you hear somebody walking across the lawn. And then you notice it. It's next to your arm. It is rubbing against your jacket, the rope.
Um, I will take a moment to see if I can see where the person walking around is to see if they're going to notice this me as I climb the wall. But then I realize that it's dark. I'm wearing dark clothing, um, and just go up the wall. Um, pull the there's a I can't remember the name of the knot, but if you pull it right, it just undoes itself, and that's how I
Mhm.
tied the rope at the top of the wall. Um, and then just jump and roll down the wall the other side.
Perfect. You leave the wall behind you, and you're now standing on a sidewalk of a road in a rather expansive area of Miston. The street lanterns that have lit up your way here are now all extinguished.
What time of year is it?
Um, I think we can go with January.
Okay. In which case, I reach into the because I've got the book bag, the messenger bag for the book, and just a small bag of things that are useful. And in that, I've got a scarf to wrap around my face and shoulders as because it's a bit less suspicious than a full mask and hood up. Um, so hood down, scarf wrapped around my face and shoulders, and um, perhaps uh, faster than I would ordinarily move, to the point where it could be suspicious, but I'm not really thinking that far ahead right now. I will leave the area for more comfortable environs.
You do. Something that you notice over the course of your journey, maybe home, wherever you are, if you stay for a minute or two, the lights turn off. What did you do with the book this night?
This night, I have a um. No, I can't think of the word, and this is my native language. Uh, a lockbox. There we go. I have a lockbox hidden like say 2 blocks away from where I actually live. Where I it's basically a quarantine for for stolen goods. So that if the worst happens and I am discovered for whatever reason, it's not on me. And then when everything has died down, I'll go and reclaim it.
Perfect. The book ends up in the lockbox. And you get home. What else happened the next day that you decided to leave the city for a few days?
It was many small things. It was thinking I caught a glimpse of someone on the street outside my apartment. It was turning up at work and the newly fitted light above the door um, shattering as I entered, and it was on my lunch break. The feeling of being watched while I know I'm entirely alone in the break room. It's just that constant sensation of being watched and of any moment where I'm not doing something, that image of the figure in the chair and not being able to focus on what they were doing just worms its way through my subconscious. Um, and until the point where it's just every time I blink, that's what I can see.
I can see that you need a break. And so you and Henry are now heading out of the city to a safe place. What is this safe place?
I asked Henry if he wanted to meet my parents, and they live like 4 hours drive away, remote village, a remote town, um, where that's always felt like home, even though the Miston's where I've made a life for myself. But it's always been a constant source of sanctuary in troubled times. And due to the nature of the job, there are sometimes troubled times where going somewhere that's not exactly off grid, but where it's easy to be lost is advantageous.
Mm-hmm. So, did you tell Henry anything?
I told him that there was a situation at work that had spiraled out of control, and that I would have arranged temporarily, unpaid time off with my employer, but for mental health purposes. So Henry knows it's a mental health break that I'm getting out of the city for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He is still nervous. You aren't dating that long, and apparently he already gets to uh, get to know your parents. Um, that's quick. That's very quick.
Yeah, it's
Is
there's
there?
that voice in the back of my head that's telling me that this is the worst thing I could have done, because now now he knows something is wrong, and I should stop listening to the fear, but the fear is just screaming.
Are you? Is there anything that I should know about your parents?
No, no, and kind of glance away from the road to look at him for a moment. No, they're the middle class, retired. Um, Honestly, it was more that there's some great climbing nearby. But when I was going to ask you if you wanted to go climbing, then I realized that my parents are there, and it would be a bit weird to drive all that way and not say hi to them. And then that kind of just all came out as, do you want to meet my parents rather than do you want to go climbing? And oh, hey, my parents are nearby. Do you mind if I say hi to them? And it was, and then back to the road because I'm aware of that I'm just word vomiting. I'm sorry. I know that it's awkward and a little fast. There's just like I force like a shy glance. There's just something here that I'd like to. I don't want to let pass me by. You know.
Okay. Okay. Um, just checking. Um, is this more a roommate situation or are they cool?
Um. Well, I've never taken anyone to meet them. Uh, they know I'm gay, but it's never been put to the test.
Okay. Okay. But you're still on speaking terms with them, so I take this as a good
Yes, and
positive.
and,
So
and when I rang them earlier, they seemed thrilled to finally meet someone. Well, they seemed thrilled that I had someone, um, which is I think more the concern.
oh, great. Oh, great. Okay. And Henry seems to be relaxing a little bit more and then stops looking nervously in the mirrors and takes a longer look at you and you know climbing sounds actually quite good. Yeah. Um did I tell you that I got new shoes?
I forced myself to not hold the steering wheel so tight that my knuckles are white, and kind of glanced at him and then back to the road because responsible driver. Uh, I know you were thinking about it, but you didn't say that you'd pulled the trigger on them.
Yeah. Um Noticed my feet hurt as hell because they are very bent, but I like the rubber glove quality. It's I I feel like I'm a goat. It's
That that's when you know you've got the right shoes.
yeah. And some of the tension leaves the car. How much does the following conversation with Henry take away of your sorrows, of your fear?
Uh, it definitely helps, but there's still that shadow back of my mind, the back seat in the rearview mirror of the figure in the chair that I both want to dwell on and want to forget that I ever saw.
Then you realize that you are um, reaching the corner of the town that your parents are living in. And their house is actually close to the woods. And you get onto the driveway and you see it there. To the right, there are a few needle trees. And then there is this house, and it's lit up. There's light in all rooms from all windows. Your parents' car is standing in the carport. And yeah, you can actually see your mother through the kitchen window as you stop the car.
Yeah, I'd wave as I open the door and um, go to the back seat, grab the bags that presumably we've packed to bring, um, give Henry like a it's gonna be okay kind of quite small pep talk before helping him out of the car if he's not already out of the car.
Yeah. Um, okay. Good. I leave. Please go ahead.
No, of course I would never expect I would never expect you to go first. Um, and as I draw level with him to pass him to knock on the door, I can't resist the backward glance to just double check that we haven't been followed, and then resume to the door and knock, unless there is anything that obviously unsettles me.
Street lanterns are all glowing. You can't see anybody. Well, there is somebody walking their dog, but they are walking away from you. It seems all right. You're about to knock on the door as it opens, and your father is filling in the frame, and there's bright light coming from behind him, and you can smell um, what would they? Probably a nice pie. You can smell pie from the kitchen, and also um, there's a distinct smell to the wood in the house that also making its way into your nose. And you can see the photos from the few times that your parents have been on holidays across the States and one or twice in Europe. And there's a photo wall on one of the sides of the corridor, and your dad is standing there and smiles at you, arms wide for a hug. Toby,
I
it's
will
so great to see you.
I will step in and give him a bear hug. You too, Dad. It's been I'm sorry it's been so long, but work and the city, it
Yeah.
it's as if it just wants to eat me alive sometimes.
Yes, yes, I know that. And the traffic out here is just horrible. So come in. And this fine fella must be Henry.
Yes, this is Henry. Henry, this is my dad. Um, I'm sure that you'll both get on like a house on fire. Uh, and then kind of it hits home that I've no idea how to do this, and this is why I've never brought any of my past boyfriends to meet my parents. And just kind of just floundering for a moment, like mouth opening and closing, as I like search for the right words to say to break the awkwardness that I've just introduced into what was a genial situation.
And somehow your father just waltzes through the situation, makes a huge step forward, grabs Henry's hand with his own, giving it a real good squeeze and drawing him in through the door. Just come in, come in. We can have all the awkwardness at the dinner table.
Fantastic, just the perfect place for it.
And just a few seconds later, you can hear your mom from the kitchen um, calling. Doop, 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 doop. You got gave Neil. Yeah,
Yes.
she is calling for Neil. Neil, your pie is getting crusty. Come in here. And oh, I'm sorry, I have to go to. And he hurries away, gets into the kitchen, and seems to take care of the pie he was baking.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, sorry, I should have warned you. They can be a lot. Also, I didn't really think this far ahead. I was like I threw the tent in the car and some sleeping bags, but if you want to sleep here, I'm happy to take the sofa in the living room, and you can take the bed in the bedroom. I'm sure it's made up still.
Yeah. Let's see how the evening goes, and then
Sure, sure.
yeah. Um, a few minutes later, all the preparations are done. Dinner table is set, and steaming pie is sitting at the center. And the four of you are sharing more or less awkward moment as the introductions with Valerie are made. And I don't know. Did you pick up climbing from your parents?
Uh, Probably yes. This has been their home for quite some time, and they've always been into like hiking. Um, they're not as fond of climbing. Uh, there was just something we did one weekend as like a family outing thing, and it just clicked for me. Whereas they're both much more comfortable with just kind of hiking up like quite broken terrain, but not vertical stone walls.
Okay. So they start talking about how they have been in the Alps and the Pyrenees and their one trip to South America and climbing in Mexico and or hiking. And so you get a real nice dinner. They don't get too nosy about Henry. Um, they just talk the entire time if you don't stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, how are you feeling now?
Um, Being home cooked meal at home, the familiar voices just washing over me. Because I'm still unsettled to begin with, but as it all kind of as that sanctuary and warmth opens up in front of me, and my parents, my boyfriend, does start to unwind all of the knots that are in my back, and the hairs on the back of my neck slowly start to go down.
Hmm, that's great. At some point, a good part of the pie is eaten. There are a few crumbs left on the plates, and there are some nice drinks on the table now. And yeah, you're getting close to the question of do we stay or do we leave? Because if we don't go now, we are missing the right moment
Mm-hmm.
to get out. And as you start to check the vibes, there's a ring on the door.
I will stand. I've got it. Just try try not to embarrass me, any of you. Um, and I'll head for the door.
Mhm. Perfect. Um, you open the door. You open the door and look outside, and the light outside stands the elderly neighbor, who looks at you surprised. Oh, Toby, you're home.
Yeah, spur of the moment thing. I just need to get out of the city for a while.
Oh, great. I was just coming around because I borrowed the saw, and I just wanted to bring it back. And he hands you a heavy electrical saw.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll let my parents know that it's back. Hopefully it did what you needed it to do.
Yeah, it worked fine. Thank you. Send them my greetings, kind regards, all that.
I shall.
And I hope to see them on Saturday.
I nod. I I will make them promise to see you on Saturday.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And then I will just kind of like half turn to make it clear that unless there's anything else to say, I'm gonna shut the door slowly, not rudely, but shut the door in their face in the neighbor's face.
Yeah, there's a one lingering moment as if there was something else to say. But then he turns around and leaves.
I will shut the door and head back to wherever where my parents and boyfriend are, carrying the
Yeah.
saw.
As you return to the living dining room, you notice that on in the hallway, one of the light bulbs starts flickering.
I do everything in my power to ignore it.
Perfect. Where do you place the saw?
Um, I imagine there's probably some kind of low table in the hallway for
Mhm.
miscellaneous purposes. I'd carefully put it on there, making sure that the power tool doesn't scratch the surface.
Perfect. You return to the dining table. You notice there's a fifth plate sitting in front of an empty chair.
Oh, I should I have invited Ernest in?
Oh, Ernest was here?
Yeah, the brother power saw.
Oh, oh yeah, that's good. Uh, I didn't even remember I lent it to him. Well, it's good it's back.
Yeah, he wants to see you on Saturday for something. I assumed you'd know what he was talking about.
Saturday? Oh, I thought we were on out of town on Saturday. Valerie, what were we doing on Saturday? Oh, we were going shopping. I don't recall Ernest inviting us to anything on Saturday. Huh, strange. We're gonna call him tomorrow.
Yeah, he just seemed very insistent that he see you, so I passed the message on.
You have, thank you.
No, no worries. Um, so who are we expecting then? Gesture to the empty plate.
Oh, well, I didn't even notice it was there. Did Valerie, did you place another plate there? She shrugs. Don't know. Well, obviously this was a mistake.
They happen.
Yeah,
I'll go to tidy it away.
perfect. You get into the kitchen and look through the kitchen window that you saw your mother through as you arrived. You look out to the driveway and onto the road. There are the street lanterns. And apparently they're being turned off at this hour.
I try not to imagine that I can see the chair, the figure, reflected in the window with the glare of the lights behind me, and kind of close my eyes for a moment and just force the tension away. This is a safe space. I came here to relax. I'm going to relax.
Good. You turn around. The light bulb in the hallway gave up.
I like for a moment, a heartbeat, maybe two. I'm just back in the hallway with the figure that was not in front of me, and then I throw that off. The spike of adrenaline fading. If you let me know where the bulbs are, I'll replace it. And gesture as I come back into the dining room to the dark light bulb.
There's no reaction from your parents. They are just sitting there as is Henry, looking at this chair that was empty before. I must say, it's very unpolite to tidy up a plate that's still needed.
Can I see where the voice is coming from, or is it just
Yes,
okay?
it's coming from the man sitting in the chair. It, he has an old regal face, um, black hair with streaks of gray, wearing an expensive suit.
It would be rude had I known it was still being used, but it was empty, as was that chair. Regardless, and I turned to fetch it.
The person seems to be waiting.
I'll come back with it.
Thank you. Now, please take a seat.
Are my family and Henry reacting in any way to this, or are they just kind of staring still?
They are their their eyes seem to be a little bit glazed over, a little bit of dull expression.
I do my best to appear calm, but internally the heart rate's getting a bit fast, and just do what I can to subtly try and catch their attention, see if there's any reaction. So I make a bit too much noise moving the chair to sit down in it, and that kind of thing.
You think you can steer your father a little bit. You you can see his eyes turning into your direction for a brief moment.
In which case, I do sit, but I don't. Um, I make it as easy as possible to get out if I need to. So that, I don't pull the chair back under the table. It's just kind of where it is, and I'm very ready to try to lead this person out of the house if it becomes a problem, or to throw myself at them if they decide to attack my parents or Henry.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Your father slowly starts stretching out a hand into your direction. You, it's hard to realize the speed with which the knife is being picked up and rammed into this hand, being pinned to the table.
I imagine the stranger is, correct me if I'm wrong, already seated quite comfortably by the time I get to I start reacting to this.
Yes.
In which case, my eyes have not on the stranger; they're on where the stranger's hand was moments ago, as I'm lunging to, you know, get in the way of a blow that's already fallen. And there's scream is the wrong word, but a wordless noise, um, like tearing its way up my throat.
You can see the eyes of the stranger half closed, and there is the tip of the tongue moving of a small stretch of the upper lip. The image from last night, the man in the chair behind the desk. It becomes a little bit clearer. I think it's time for dinner. And he reaches for the knife that was used to cut the pie. You can stay where you are. And by can, I mean I invite you to stay. And you feel a power in these words pressing you into your seat. He stands up, reaches for that knife, and walks over to um, to Neil. He rests the edge against his neck and slowly slits. After this point, a lot of blood runs. And whilst your field of view slowly turns red, and one light after another in the house dims and darkens, there's always eye contact between the stranger and you. Until you can only hear the sounds. Then you feel the knife on your own skin.
I'm imagining that this is a like what's it called? The locked in syndrome or something, where you're completely aware of what's happening and mentally you're reacting to it, but physically completely paralyzed.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm screaming inside my own head.
There's
Even I don't know if it's fear or rage or both.
the interesting thing is with the blood, with your life, these emotions also dwindle, being sucked through your skin, taken away. Then, as you are on the border to something else, you feel his lips next to your ear. If there was a next time, I'd counsel you to pick your targets more carefully. Luckily, we don't have to talk with each other. You should have never come. And then they leave. There's still blood flowing from your wounds, needlessly spilling on the ground, wasted, running away. You feel the pressure lift.
I would try to get to whoever is closest to me. Um, and there's that detached part that kicks in during periods of extreme shock that's just, I should be crying right now. Why aren't I crying? Why am I numb?
You feel a cold hand slightly moving to your right.
I'd look that way.
You think you see the silhouette of Henry.
I reach with everything I have to that hope that in what is likely to be my final moments, we will at least be together.
Your hands touch. You feel his weak grip. Toby, Toby.
I, through a throat that I have torn to shreds just with wordless noise when my dad's hand was impaled to the table, and through trying to shriek and yell and roar when the pressure was holding me in my seat. I don't think I know what platitudes I murmur, but I know that I don't truly feel them because that voice is still the back of my head saying, "You should be afraid that you're dying. Why aren't you afraid that you're dying?"
You you feel you can hear the almost limp body of Henry pulling himself closer to you. And then you hear him whisper, "Is there anything left? Any rage? Any fear? Sadness?"
I fight the weakness, the lethargy of blood loss to meet his eyes, and there's some confusion that that he knows what I'm feeling, and I can't vocalize the word no, but my mouth, lips, tongue, they form the word. It's just silent.
As you look up, you see the two only dots of light in this room: Henry's eyes. And aside of all weakness, you see a ravenous hunger in them. Is there anything left?
I try again to say no, to admit to the voice inside and to myself that there is nothing, that I'm hollow, but I can't get that out. There's just, with everything that's happened, there's no will to fight to say it anymore.
The hollowness. It's like an empty barrel made of wood planks. And that what happens next is as if somebody pulled the wood planks apart to see if there's still some wine in the fiber. It's a gut wrenching feeling of hollowness that nobody should be able to describe or feel. And it's the last thing that you feel in your life. There's a brief moment that our brain doesn't record. It's a mystery that nobody you will meet has an answer to. It's a secret, and it's happening now. And after the secret happened, your eyes blink, and you wake up at the dining table as sunlight filters through the curtains into your parents' home.
I would like just throw myself back, um, probably knocking the chair I'm sitting on over, makes a huge noise, um, and just look around, seeing if there's anything that confirms the bloodbath that happened here, or if it was just a nightmare.
The pools of half dried blood on the floor very much confirm what happened.
Uh, I would stagger backwards out of the dining room, kind of just no, 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 over and over again. Um, Not really paying attention to where I'm going. Just know that I'm just knowing that I need to get out.
And as you walk backwards, you suddenly run into someone.
I would um, just fall silent and turn, I guess, slowly, just my head to see who I've bumped into.
It's Henry. He's standing in the hallway. He took off his shirt and he looks like he just came from the bathroom, hands and face clean. You see a reddish mark, several reddish marks on his neck and throat, but no open wounds anymore.
There's just several seconds of confused noises and like extremely visible confusion. Um, Based on your response, I'm assuming there was no sign of my parents' bodies.
Correct.
What? The blood. We. And then start feeling for, where I was stabbed in the neck. Well, where my neck was cut. We died, didn't we?
You died. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I couldn't. I really couldn't let you go.
But do I have a pulse if I feel for one?
No.
The rational part of my mind says I should probably be concerned about that. But the irrational part of me is saying it's just shock. There's definitely a pulse. You're up. You're conscious. You're talking. Oh, no, I can't be. I can't be. You don't get better after losing that much blood. It must
No.
have been. There has to be an explanation.
There is one. The day I met you, I knew I would tell it to you one day, but never like this. See, you died. I died too, but that's a longer time ago. You died last night.
I just start backing away. I'm still listening, but I'm also denying what he's saying because it can't be true. It just can't be true.
And I brought everything back that I could from you. And the good thing is, it's now so much harder for you to die again. It's a lot of things will change. I'm so sorry. Just I wasn't strong enough to stop him.
I imagine by this point I've probably backed up quite painfully into the table or kind of stumbled over the chair
Yeah,
I knocked over. We'll go with that one because then as I fall, hands straight into some half-dried congealed blood. And my parents?
I'm sorry. Um, I I brought them into the winter garden. If you want to look at them, but I don't know.
This is probably when the grief and shock just hit me like a hammer blow. Um, and for a few seconds, I'll just be crying uncontrollably with everything that's happened and the very vivid memory of my own death that still is a nightmare. It's dreamlike. It couldn't have happened, but then it does sink in that I don't have a pulse, and I double check, and I assume still no pulse. But I am breathing, and I can feel the sun and the stickiness of the blood. So so what? I'm dead.
You're beyond dead.
I don't know. It it felt like I died, so I feel pretty dead. Insert swear word here.
Yeah, but you're so moving and you're talking to me. And we will leave this house today. And if you want to, we can return to Miston and I can introduce you to a few people who are also dead. And you can continue.
I look at this gorgeous, beautiful man that I had considered could be the start of something great, something amazing in my life, and force myself to my feet, look around the kitchen that it's just tainted. It's not safe. It never will be safe again. And my eyes fall on the scar in the table where the knife went through my dad's hand into the wood. Still, sure, whatever. I'm dead. I don't know what that means. What I do know is I'm pissed. And then I look at Henry, like meeting his eyes probably for the first time in this entire conversation. You brought me back. Sure, why not? I'll go on faith here. Can anyone bring him back? And I'm not talking about my dad. I'm talking about the stranger.
He is also hungry. There are ways to kill us. We might end up in a lot of trouble.
I allow him to see all of the fear and confusion and rage, grief, shock just flooding through me right now. I don't care. He killed my father. He killed my mother. I thought he'd killed you, and he killed me. I'm used to dealing with trouble, to preparing for it. And most of all, I'm used to not getting caught.
You steal something from him.
I think back to the previous night. Theft implies it wasn't given. And I shake my head, turn to look out of the kitchen window. If he wasn't, if he didn't let me take it, he certainly didn't try very hard to keep it.
Somebody set you up.
Well, there's a thought.
Henry looks even more worried, but now less worried about you and him and the thing you're having. It's more worried about other stuff, complicated stuff. Somebody set you up.
I, like a drowning person clinging to a life raft. That is one concrete, actionable fact, and I cling to it. The rest of the stuff, I'm not handling very well. I'll process that in my own time if I ever do. But this is something I can deal with. And I just turn, a mirthless laugh bursting uncontrollable from my mouth. Well, good thing I know the right people to ask.
We should start with those who set you on this track.
Exactly. And if they don't know, I could think of a few doors to knock on.
Good. Yeah. There's reeks of something bigger. We should head into the city. And I think I need to explain a few things to you.
I meet his eyes again and then look at the kitchen, dining room, sorry. Start talking. I'll start cleaning.
And Henry starts talking and introduces you to a world of almost eternal life and damnations, on a hunger that starts to growl inside you already, a hunger that must be sated. And you notice it wasn't the blood the stranger was drinking. It was your fear, your anger, and all of that. And you seem to have a similar taste. So, what is the thought that you carry with you as Henry and you drive back to Mistern City.
As I look out the window at the landscape as it becomes gradually more urban, more run down, just running through my head, he tasted my fear, I'll taste his.
Once again, please, sorry.
He tasted my fear, I'll taste his.
Perfect. That's, I think, is the perfect ending for tonight. So, thank you very much, Ryan.
No, thank you, Tom.
I think this was the most brutal of them all.
That was a choice you made.
I know, I know. And I noticed that even though I set it up, I didn't go for the saw.
Hey, if it doesn't feel right in the moment, it doesn't feel right in the moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you once again. This was a blast, and I actually want to know what happens next in Toby's and Henry's unlife as they might go to attack an elder hungry. We will
Just,
see about that.
you know, some years down the line, there's got to be some
Yeah.
things learned and allies made.
Yes, I think so too. That's a strong beginning. So, for the third time, thank you. And before we head out, we should probably tell everybody who we are and again what we do and where to find us. So please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Ryan. I through real life stuff do not get to do horror role playing anywhere near as much as I would like. So thank you, Tom, for this fantastic opportunity. I stream on Twitch as Comrade Bubbles. I stream here. Usually I'm on hiatus right now, but I stream how to write community content for Onyx Path role playing games and release, to the Storypath Nexus and the various community content platforms with mechanical deep dives, discussions of themes and flavor and lore and narrative whatnots. All of my pertinence, including I think my blue sky is not there yet, but I keep meaning to add it. But my portfolio and relevant links are at the link tree that I have just summoned via the power of mod commands. I have that ability. And yeah, thank you. Thank you to Tom for running. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. I'll let Tom do the rest of the spiel.
Thank you. Yeah. So once again, thank you for joining. Thank you, wonderful viewers, lovable audience, for sticking around. I am Tom, or Tom Moore. You can find me, for example, on the Onyx Path Discord or over at startplaying.games. If you type in my name, Tom Moore, you will find me there with my GM profile and soon more playable games. Right now, I am very busy writing stuff and translating stuff for Onyx Path and other companies. So yeah, if you have a localization project into German from an English RPG, you can get in contact with me. Also, if you want me to write cruel and horror stuff for you, I'm also here for that. And yeah, I think I almost didn't forget anything. So I will remind you about that next time or so.
I did just check. The ash can is currently on sale. It's
Ooh.
reduced. It is $3.99 instead of $4.99. The link is in the Twitch chat.
I ran it several times and it was always awesome. It's a very cool mystery to solve, very evocative, getting into the action real quick. And I mean, the four household characters in there are very lovable, and I've seen so many undead or dead bar owners called Sam who are all doing their own incredible stuff. And amongst them haunting their own body, which is just a feature I love about the dead in Curseborne.
It's
One
it's
of the best things.
it's so good. Um, yeah, it's a cool twist. It's a cool take on the undead principle.
Yeah. So yeah, I can highly recommend it um, to pick it up, read it, play it, and have a great time. Yeah. So if you, like me, now need some debrief time, don't hesitate. Get something that's good and nice for you, and I hope we will meet again, Ryan and I hope we meet again, and hope to be watched by you all out there again. So take care.
That's this. I just got murdered, and that's the scariest thing. Being watched by everyone out there. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.